afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for October 28th, 2021, Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern. We are always having experience. We choose just to be present to the one that's happening right now. If we are demanding to have an experience, we are squeezing out this one and actually missing it. The moment we stop trying to make something big happen, that's when it happens to you. The moment we stop trying to make something big happen, that's when it happens to you. The whole purpose of us in these bodies is enlightenment, to become enlightened, which means that we start to understand who and what we are, and then we begin to journey within. Man cannot discover new oceans unless he has the courage to lose sight of the shore. On Great Guide. There truly are no words that can fully describe the enlightened state of consciousness by itself. It is an experience that is beyond the mind and all mental concepts. We can only know that we've had a taste of it by the enhanced quality of our life experience. Our typical normal walk in the park becomes a romantic rendezvous with the divine, and we are greeted with personal messages and sacred signs of inner guidance on every street corner and billboard that we see. When the state of enlightened consciousness shows up, it turns the mundane into the miraculous. So there's 4 qualities that will let you know you are stepping into the enlightened state. Be aware that each one naturally happens to you, occurs for you when you make time to create a closer relationship with the enlightened state of consciousness that is within you. 1 is perpetual and effortless reverence for life. In the enlightened state, we cannot help but feel totally in awe of this life. We are seeing a divine intelligence that is deeply rooted and alive in all things, objects, situations, and people. It is obvious that there is a higher intelligence behind every experience, action, and occurrence. We see there's no such thing as coincidence and live in constant reverence for this life, participating with ease in the natural flow, celebrating in this spiritual connection that's all around us, and then observing the mirror reflection within every interaction. When the state of enlightened awareness is super strong within us, we stop identifying with our physical body as who we are. We instead see our infinite nature is everywhere in all things and people. We see it is the background, backdrop, and blackboard that the entire universe is written upon. We know we are the universal body and find every human being as a glimmering facet reflecting this unique individuated point of consciousness within ourselves. The mirror ignites a natural realization that everyone is our teacher, pointing us back to us, the lessons and messages we most need to hear. The enlightened awareness shows us that we are not separate from anyone and anything, and we effortlessly live in a state of joy and universal harmony wherever we go. And then feeling of being deeply settled and completely still inside. No matter what chaos is occurring in the outer world, there is always a point of perpetual stillness at our core. We are the center of the cyclone, that no drama, violence, or death can threaten. We know our true nature is eternal and that nothing can destroy us. We are rooted within this moment so deeply that nothing can shake us or disturb our inner peace. We laugh with lightness at the trivial stresses that used to plague our daily mind as we relax deeper into the recesses of our innermost being. And then, a deep knowing that all is perfect in this life. There is a natural understanding that all is well and unfolding exactly as it should. We see the universal perfection that is here now and accept that it has the highest vision in sight of how life should be. We stop fighting with others outside ourselves because the fight has stopped within ourselves. We stop fighting with others outside ourselves because the fight has stopped within ourselves. We are the source of nonviolence, attacking, judging nothing we see within. There is only a respect for the perfection that is constantly unfolding around us. Knowing the mind can have its fabrications about how things should be, yet abide instead in the deeper resources of peace that know otherwise. Being himself the supreme being, but thinking himself to be separate, man strives and struggles to become united. What is stranger than this? Ramana Maharshi. How to reach the enlightened state of consciousness. It's vital to know that it is available to everyone at all times and perpetually lies dormant at the core of our being. The more we rest within ourselves in a life free from stress, desire, and activity, the more we relax inside and soon realize its astounding power. At this brilliant gateway is gradually opened. As this brilliant gateway is gradually opened, we see how easy it is to create anything and everything that we desire. Our normal awareness pierces like a laser beam through the negative beliefs which normally would have stopped us from moving forward. And we see how fun and easy it is to accept the possibility of instant manifestation. The more often we sit still, practice quieting the mind, watching the breath rise and fall, doing nothing, the more we, the divine consciousness, awakens within us. When we stop and meditate on the source of consciousness itself, we discover that it's everywhere. We are. It is our very nature and is as bright and brilliant as the sun. It is so obvious that it cannot be missed. When we catch hold of it and let go of our attachment to the outer phenomenal world, we see that this consciousness has a power which is so all-encompassing that we stop looking outside of ourselves for answers and start listening to the omniscient wisdom that is constantly bubbling up from within our core. Look at your mind dispassionately. This is enough to calm it. When it is quiet, you can go beyond it. Do not keep it busy all the time. Stop it and just be. If you give it a rest, it will settle down and recover its purity and strength. Constant thinking makes it decay. Nisargadatta. With the enlightened state, we can live a life that is free from doubt and fear because we know that something universally intelligent is guiding us each step of the way. We are never bored with this life, nor seeking gratification from our outer world, because ordinary life situations are constantly transformed into a deeply aesthetic, spiritually awakening moment. There is no attachment to our lives, to desires, to possessing anything, acquiring anything, nor escaping from any experience. We meet our lives full on, embracing the divine circumstances that we are given, facing them with complete ecstasy, because we have already found that we were searching for our entire lives. We've discovered an eternal source of peace within that cannot be shaken or disturbed by anything or anyone in the outer world. The greatest secret to finding the state of enlightened consciousness is when we get in touch with our deepest personal trauma and emotional pain. Our pain is there for a very profound spiritual reason. It pushes us to reach for the divine. We need a propulsion fuel so deep and powerful that it launches us directly into real spiritual awareness. We are so deeply asleep to our all-powerful infinite nature on a day-to-day basis that the only thing strong enough to break through this veil is a burning desire to be free from our suffering. It is our deepest pain that liberates us. Feeling into it daily, we pave the path to our highest freedom. When we get a taste of enlightened consciousness, everything changes. We see everything as a spiritual experience. We see our mind instantly stops judging the world, ourselves, and our lives as we recognize the source of real peace here, now. We live in this world, yet truly beyond the judgments of this world. This non-judgmental approach liberates our energy to relax into the infinite healing presence of our being. This is how we attain the initial taste of our unbounded freedom. It all begins with a simple connection with our own awareness and consciousness. When we drop into what is aware, what is present, what is watching the watcher, who is observing this experience of this life, we open the doors to 100% pure awareness, free from the mind. By reopening this door again and again and again, we soon discover the highest, most blissful state of experience a human being can attain. Outer circumstances don't need so much effort to be changed, but the inner lethargy is centuries years old. The unconsciousness is so primitive, its roots are so deep, that it needs a total determination on your part. A tremendous determination, a commitment, a deep involvement. You have to risk all. Unless that happens, it is impossible to change yourself. You will remain the same, emotionally. It truly depends on where we are currently at in our inner journey as to how many days, months, or years it will take before we discover our natural enlightened state. The more often we can practice resting in deep states of stillness, completely dropping all mind chatter, the faster the enlightened state will arrive at our doorstep. Ultimately, it is the commitment to ourselves that sparks the evolution to finding higher consciousness. When we are truly committed to unveiling our infinite spiritual nature, divine, diving deeper each day into the discovery of who we truly are, it is only a short matter of time before the universe, this universe, delivers us to this ultimate enlightened state of being, knowing that which will totally satisfy our hearts and fulfill every yearning within our soul is not a small matter. And when it comes down to it, the level of devotion we have to finding real freedom, the enlightened state, is a reflection of how much we actually love ourselves. Life is a test of our depth of self-love. The level of enlightenment we experience along the way determines how often and quickly we can summon the quality of unstoppable inner peace, creativity, or compassion for others. The enlightened state is the base factor that determines how successful we are on our spiritual path, and the main reason and purpose why we are all here. It is only through the infinite exploration of our inner journey that we can experience a real sense of freedom in our lives. It is an ironic thing, yet in the enlightened state, we see that everyone is enlightened except ourselves. We realize that there truly is no self, and thus there is no more suffering. It may be hard to comprehend because we are so accustomed to being identified with this mind, ego, and body. Yet the more we realize our true nature, the more we discover a life that is free from any form of pain. This freedom is the great spiritual peak that we are each here to climb and conquer. Every great work, every great accomplishment has been brought into the manifestation through holding to the vision. And often, just before the big achievement comes, apparent failure and discouragement. Florence Scofield. One personal word of advice for all of you on your journey is to be patient with yourself, as there are 1,000 brilliant obstacles along the way. On this great journey, the difference between illusion and reality is very slim and will create many veils between the mind and your consciousness. You may forget many times that the highest state of freedom is here, available right now, waiting for you. It is like Mount Everest, always there, yet often hidden behind the clouds. Very few have the courage to even attempt to climb. So don't give up if you don't arrive on your first or 100th crack at it. There will always be another moment in the future, or perhaps another lifetime, when you will have more desire, courage, trust, and a fierce, penetrating, laser-like awareness to burn through the cloudy veils of the mind. Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. Oscar Wilde. So if you will, go to a place where you're not going to be interrupted. And I am sure that we all are. And the first thing that we care to do is relax our bodies. That's number one, relaxing the body. Going to a place where it's quiet, you aren't going to be interrupted, and you just focus on your breath. The body will let go. Pain, sorrow, anguish, stress, fear, anxiety, all of it. But as you move into silence, and you leave the mind and ego and subconscious mind alone, all the chatter, all that noise that we all have, it's incessant, it's always. You ever notice? It's always. When we lay our head in the pillow, there it is. Get up in the morning, there it is. It's always there. But when you leave the mind alone, that chatter is gone. And you're focused on what? You. The God that you are within that body. That's what we're here to do, to discover that we are gods in these bodies. Not only discover, but embrace it and stay with it. Then the outer world becomes apparently clear on what it really is. You can picture yourself floating in sacred space. You have no pressure, no anxiety, no stress, no fear. Nor do you even care, because you aren't thinking it, because you aren't in the mind. You're watching, but you're not participating. It's almost like you're in this real comfortable chair, and everything's dark, except you see these lights going by. And those lights are thoughts, and they're part of your mind, that body's mind. So you go, no, I don't care to participate. Oh, there's another one. Nope, not going to participate. Just watching. Pass on by, just watching. And it's getting into the habit of doing that. Anytime you choose. We all have that power. Anytime we choose. Whenever, wherever, we go in a state of silence. And we do nothing. That's hard for some.
Because they start feeling guilty. They say, well, I got to be doing something. I can't just sit here and do nothing. See? This was the ego mind. Push, 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 push. Got to get it done, get it done, get it done, get it done. And then you begin to realize, well, my body's relaxed. I feel light. This feels great. And you focus on your breath. And that moves you into the now, which does still the mind, the ego, and the subconscious mind. They're all still. Means that you're out of them. You're not participating in them. And the breath is super divine, omnipotently powerful. The soul that we are, the God that we are, come into these bodies, power the body up, and the breath is created. Breath sustains the body. If we were to say that we don't need to breathe, then we would have to leave the body. And it focuses us, relaxes us, strengthens us. It always brings us into the now. It never doesn't. Whenever we focus on our breath, it brings us into the now. And the now is all we have. We don't have anything else. We have the now. Do we have the future? No, we don't have the future. Do we have the past? No, the past is gone. We only have the now. Only. Now, to stay in the now, we have all this, over 60,000 thoughts that we generate every day, that we ourselves generate, each of us. Then we have tens of millions of programmed thoughts that aren't ours floating by us, like clouds in the sky. So you can see how we're so tempted to go back into the mind, back into the ego, back into the subconscious mind. And it happens because none of us are exempt from it. So we'll grab onto one of those clouds and we'll float off. We can be focused on anything and float off. Not that we do it on purpose, we just do it. It's so automatic. It's just seamless. But the key here is to understand to be gentle, kind, generous, and humble, and in 24/7 eternal deep gratitude. And then you say, okay, so I've floated out of the now. I'll focus on my breath, and I'll be in the now. And you'll be in the now 3,000% of the time. Now, first, it isn't that easy because we're so accustomed to wandering off in the past, wandering off in the future that we haven't even created yet. And we can absolutely snap into the now whenever we choose. We suffer because we have expectations and attachments to the material physical world. That's why we all suffer. All along, our freedom and our true happiness, bliss, and joy is within us. That's where it's at. And it's for each of us to discover it. We know that we are not this body, the body that we're in. We are not the name. We are not the personality. We are not the character. We are the God within the body, the pure consciousness. We also know that when we look at the body that we're in, we can see 7 lights from the coccyx, which is right in the tailbone, all the way to the top of the head. And these are called chakras, but chakra means wheel, wheels of light. And they're etheric, spiritual energy. And we are etheric, spiritual energy, so we flow through them. And we flow through them. We know these bodies as the gods that we are, intimately, right down to the quantum core. Every movement of every cell. every flow of blood, everything. And not only that, all of our emotions, our responses, our perspectives, our attitudes, everything. And we begin to discover who and what we are, and then we start to find out that we are not the body, we're the God, and that we have the power to heal the body whenever we choose to heal it. It's just that we have not gotten there yet. First is to discover that we are not the body, then to move deeper within from there. And we will. And we know that the soul, the God that we are in the body, we enter the body, and we power it up, and everything comes online. So the breath is created. Breath sustains the body that houses us, the gods. We also know that we're consciously aware. We're consciously aware that we are of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude. And we know that we are the God. We just haven't fully discovered it. So we know that the soul is heaven. Body is earth. We are literally heaven on this earth. We also consciously aware that every step we take, we are creating paradise. We also are shining our light, our God force, love light energy, 360 degrees, blasting everything with it. 24/7, we're blasting our light. Now, if you were to fly outside this planet, say a couple hundred miles, and you looked at it, and you'd see it glowed. And you'd also see all the lights in the universe around it. And you would notice that they would be dim in comparison. That's how bright of the light that we are. And we also are aware that parts of the gods that we are awake. Other parts are completely asleep. That doesn't mean we leave them behind. We can't, because they're part of the gods that we are. It's just that they don't participate because they are not aware and they are completely asleep. And they will determine when they decide to awake. And we have the other parts of us, as the gods that we are, that are awake, consciously aware. Those are the parts that we communicate with and that we bring together, so to speak. So we're consciously aware that we're all one. And here in this meditation, liberate this planet. So this is all the light energy beings and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. This is the archangels, the cherubim, the seraphim, the archetypes, the ascended masters, Kuan Yin, Maitreya, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesh, Gaia, Saint Germain, Christ, El Moria, Vendantia, Pel, Tha, Yahweh, Yeshua, all the inhabitants of inner earth, hollow earth, Agartha, and beneath earth, all of our loved ones who have ascended out of body in this lifetime and all lifetimes that we've inhabited. All the off-worlders, galactics, and celestials. All light energy beings, this planet, on it, in it, above it, and below it. Because of the eyes that we have with these bodies, we only see 1% of what is. So we don't see them, but we are familiar with some of them, and we do interact with some. The fairies, the sprites, the elves, the gnomes, the dwarves, the trees, the trolls, the mermaid, the dolphin, the whale, the Pegasus, the unicorn, the centaur, the minotaur, the elementals, earth, air, water, fire, ether, wood. Now the off-worlders, galactic celestials, we're only familiar with just a very small number of them. Over 1,000 species travel through the solar system every day, and trillions throughout the universes every day. Now, the ones that we are somewhat aware of are the Pleiadians, the Sirians, the Arcturians, the Andromedans, feline, Zeta Reticuli, Anunnaki, Gorge, Greys, Draco, Reptilian, Golden Pyramid, Avian. Now, this particular group has been assisting us in our evolution, enlightenment, ascension, freeing ourselves from our own self-imposed bondage and our own self-imposed flight rate. The archangels are a civilization that vibrated at a different frequency than we do. That's why we don't see them like we see each other. But they do come in many different appearances. And a lot of the times they show up, we're kind of like, what was that? Other times we say, that was an angel. And either way, we're always feeling blissful, light, when we do interact with them. And they have the same message, they just deliver it in many different ways. And the message is, isn't it absolutely magna-glorious to be alive in these bodies? To taste, to smell, to breathe, to smile, to cry, to laugh, to eat, to drink. All of it. It's magical. Because as the souls as we are, the gods we are, we don't have any of that. None of it. We don't feel. We don't taste. We don't smell. None of it. You can see how we could get really attached to the physical body. And that is bliss. Now, they can surround any one of us at any one time in the tens of thousands or tens of millions because of their vibrational frequency. They can house a large number in a small area. And the ascended masters, they have mastered ascending into physical. They've mastered physical. And mastering leaving physical and holding pure consciousness God form. We have ascended into physical. We are mastering physical, and we are creating our experiences to perfect our creation. And we're all gathered arm in arm, hand in hand, so to speak, in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness, kindness, generosity, humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, prosperity, abundance. And we're all one, and we're all love, and we're all God. And our God force, love, light, energy is in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And it continues to intensify, and it continues to expand. We immediately form a circle of light around the equator of this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, and this now. This light emanates from the gods that we are, the God source within these bodies, the kingdom of God. This light is of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest, deepest, and the purest, purest eternal love. And it's flooding this planet. All life, the highest supreme value in the universe. 24/7, non-stop. Saturating, soaking all of us in this pure, deep, eternal love. And that's what we truly are, the gods that we are inside these bodies. Pure, deep, eternal love. You can dip into it anytime you choose when you go into silence and just be. We begin to ascend above the planet. As we do, we come into full contact with a massive ocean of glitter. It's everywhere. It's like a ballroom mirrored glass ball, trillion times more intense and a trillion times larger. It's reflecting, flashing everywhere. So we look at the reflection point, which we then come up upon as little tiny microscopic, perfectly etched mirrors. So we enter that, and we discover that all of us, hundreds of millions, consciously aware to a certain extent, gathered from all over existence, are learning from each other, teaching each other. We're either learning, teaching, learning, or both. It doesn't matter if it's a human being, humanoid, a squirrel, mouse, a bud, a leaf, blade of grass. Doesn't matter how life is housed. It matters what it is here to teach us. So anytime that something shows up that you notice on the ground, it could be crawling on the ground, on the walls, could be anywhere. Could be a person that you've never met before. Could be a relative, could be a spouse. You don't know. But we are always learning, and we are always teaching on this never-ending journey. We continue to ascend above the planet. We come into full contact with this massive crystalline light tower that we created. It's larger than the solar system and beyond. And in the center column, we see this massive oblong sphere. In the center of the sphere is this golden white bowl of light, and it's surrounded by numerous rings of multicolored light. And they're all sending this massive, it's like a cloud, it's electrified, sparkling, and it absorbs into us. It's like a warm embrace that never ends. And the golden white bowl of light is the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest, purest, eternal love. Then comes gratitude. Then comes peace. Then comes well-being. Then comes gentleness, kindness, generosity, humbleness, bliss, joy, tranquility, benevolence, great prosperity, great abundance. It's never ending. And it is us. We find that it is a reflection of the gods we are inside these bodies. At the top of this column, we designed it so the golden ocean can come cascading down 360 degrees as it's doing right now and has been doing eternally. And it's flooding and saturating all of us from head to toe inside now, and it is the purest, deepest, and the highest eternal love. Whenever you want to dip into it, go someplace, be still, listen, focus on the breath, and you'll be in it. Magniglorious, magnificent, stupendous, total bliss, nirvana. All life, the highest supreme value in the universe, being flooded. We are all drops of this golden ocean. We hold the essence of this golden ocean. Golden ocean is the drops, drops of the golden ocean. And the only illusion is separation. We continue to ascend above the planet, and some of us decide to step outside of our physical form and hover effortlessly above them, if we're carrying physical form. Why do we do this? Because we can. We see our meditative sphere, it's that center circle. We created this sphere moving towards 4 years ago. It holds over 1,600 of our meditations in perpetual motion. These meditations don't wane. They don't dissipate. They do the opposite. They intensify and expand. So all these meditations, every day, 7 days a week, going on 4 years, all flooding us 24/7. Imagine that. All this pure, deep, eternal love, gratitude, and peace, higher frequencies, flooding us 24/7. Picture it. See all light, the highest supreme value universe on this planet, on it, in it, above and below it, and surrounding areas are being flooded with this meditative sphere. You cannot get any higher of a love. It is the pure consciousness, the pure God, the kingdom of God, all concentrated on this planet. Every split second lifting the frequencies, waking up someone right now, maybe 10, maybe 1,000, maybe 1,000,000 right now. We all affect millions, each of us. So it is so very crucial that we focus on shining our light everywhere, everywhere. Blasting it every chance you get, every place you go. And it's just it's saturating everyone. And you want to tap into that? Go someplace, become still, quiet, focus on your breath, do nothing, and you'll be in it every single time. I'll join you in the meditation, return to close us out.
Take an easy breath in through the nose and an easy breath out through the mouth. Move easily and slowly. Stay present to consciousness. Thinking all the time is not being conscious, if you can fathom that. Just take time to just be present to your body, to your breath, to your life. Your body is your home, not your head. So keep dropping down out of the head and into your heart. Do not participate in the drama of the mind. And we will return here. Take that with you the rest of the day into the evening and night and the following morning. We will return here Friday, October 29th, 2021, 3 p.m. Eastern, to continue our Global Guided Meditation call. And Friday night at 9 p.m., our Reverse Aging Health call.